What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another Palantir update. We're going to go over the share price today and how it absolutely ripped up, all the reasons for that. Mainly, Alexander Karp, the CEO and co-founder of Palantir, had an interview today with the Washington Post, and that really sent the stock price going higher. We're going to go into that interview in depth. I've got a bunch of quotes that I'm going to show you guys about what Alex Karp said, and those are going to be pretty interesting. And we're going to go in depth into all of the options plays that I'm looking at getting into Palantir and the ones that I already have for the upcoming weeks and all of the events that Palantir has coming up. So if you guys don't mind, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me get this information out to as many people as possible, and you can stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks and learn about a couple of new ones. So if we look at a couple of the quotes from the interview today, we can go up and see that basically they kind of went over exactly what Palantir does. So the customers of Palantir are buying results based on their data, and Palantir is able to integrate the large data sets to answer simple questions faster in order to give the company faster answers to their problems. Now, they do this, they have the ability to augment their existing technology that a company has to answer the questions in their context, whether it be government, medical, or any private organization. And here's a pretty interesting thing that I saw in this interview. So Karp was asked a question about his and Palantir's involvement in the raid on Osama bin Laden. So he said, basically, we can't really say anything, but it's kind of hinted that they had a pretty pivotal role in finding where Osama bin Laden was. Now, basically, he also said that Palantir is also responsible for stopping terrorist attacks that we have never even heard of. So the power of this software is so great. It is doing a lot of things to help society as a whole. If we go down a little bit more, Karp was asked what Palantir is able to do to help handle the pandemic, and Karp basically responded, these quotes are paraphrased, but Palantir allows decision makers to monitor capacity and distribute PPE accordingly. Now, that was detailed in the contract agreement with the United Kingdom's NHS. They were going to be using the Palantir software in order to detect hotspots and manage hospital capacities. So that's kind of really what they're doing here. He was also asked about vaccine distribution. So Operation Warp Speed uses the Foundry platform, which is kind of the basic Palantir platform that they offer. And they use that to monitor the production and distribution of the vaccines. And he went into a little bit more detail and said, It determines how many vaccines are produced, how many are shipped, and where do they go. So Palantir is being very influential in the operational rollout of the vaccine, which is also a very large part of the UK's NHS contract with Palantir. Now, so this is mainly used for tracking data points, and when the organizations receive the data points, they have a lot of them. They don't really know how to interpret them. So what Palantir does is they condense them into very simple data metrics, and they provide them on a dashboard so the decision makers can make decisions with the fastest data possible in the most accurate way. So if we go over and take a look at the chart of Palantir, they were up 6.2% today on this interview. So a lot of what this had to do was kind of like the news bits being put out. Maybe some algorithms were picking up on some things that Karp was saying and placing some buy orders on Palantir, but it really helped the share price get a nice boost. And yesterday, Palantir also signed a $8 million agreement with Fujitsu, and basically they're going to be the first distributor of Palantir's Foundry platform in the Japanese market. Now, this serves as the second contract of the year for Palantir, and it's also the second contract in the Japanese market this year. So both of these contracts that Palantir has received in 2021 have been in Japan. So if Palantir can keep gaining a market and making contracts in Japan, we could see their valuation go up, because not only are they dealing with the US, the UK, but also Japan now. In the near future, Palantir also has its inaugural demo day coming up, which will include product demos of its Foundry, Gotham, Apollo, and some of the other little niche aspects of these platforms. Now, they're going to cover examples of its commercial and government work. So Alex Karp wasn't really that specific when he was talking about what Palantir does. I think he's saving a lot of the information for demo day. So basically what they're going to do is they're just going to update everybody and provide very specific things that Palantir has done to help out the different governments around the world and show exactly how powerful this software is. Now, as he said in his interview, a lot of what Palantir does is behind the scenes, and I'm guessing that the government doesn't let them talk about all of the different things that they do, but they have some very powerful software, and it seems like it's very effective at what it does, and it's saving a lot of people. Going back to the chart of Palantir, we can take a little bit more of a look. Now, it's ripped up a lot in 2020. It really had a sharp sell-off in the beginning of December, then came back up to the $29 mark. Its intraday high was around $33.50, and then it kind of was on a pretty steep downtrend at the end of December from the $29 mark down into the 23s. Now, today it ripped up 6.2%, which I think is going to be the start of a pretty large reversal in Palantir after this massive sell-off. I've been saying this for a couple days in these videos. I really think that all of the events that are coming up for Palantir are going to push it to the upside. The first event happened today, which was the Alex Karp interview, and as we saw, it pushed the stock up 6.2%, which is a very substantial amount. The next event that we have is going to be Demo Day on January 26th. If you're a Palantir shareholder or options trader, or you're just swing trading Palantir, this is going to be a date that you should mark on your calendar. It's very important. As I said before, they're going to have a lot of new technology and specifics unveiled at this event. Now, Palantir's next event after the two I just discussed is its earnings announcement on February 11th, and then 3 days after that, they're going to have their share lockup period expiring, which some people have been worried about. I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't think we're going to see a lot of insider selling just because of how great this company is and just what it does on the day-to-day basis. They keep getting new contracts left and right. I don't see any reason why insiders would want to liquidate their position. Now, I love trading options on the run-up into earnings day. If the stock can get some bullish momentum on the expectation that it's going to do well on its earnings announcement, we could see a pretty substantial run-up, and if you play options in this run-up period, you can make a lot of money. So this is going to be the February 19th, 2021 expiration date, so it's going to cover earnings. Now, the strike that I'm looking at that I have is the $30 strike. Now, the reason I picked this strike is because Palantir's high is about $33.50. So if it gets back up to new highs, or it even breaks new highs, these contracts on expiration will be at least worth $350 each. So that's a pretty good profit. So if we look over here, we can see that an open interest of about 30,500, and the volume traded today was 3,300-ish. So that's a lot of volume on this chain. Now, this basically means that there are 30,000 of these contracts that are held in people's brokerage accounts right now. And over here, the volume is going to be how many contracts were traded today. Now, the implied volatility is pretty high. That's why I didn't buy too many of these yet. I'm working to scale into a position just in case the stock price really shoots down for any unknown reason. There could be some bad news, or just the stock falls with the overall market. But I think anything in this range, $30 to $33, if you buy it far enough out, like the February 19th date, like I have up here, is going to be a pretty safe bet. Now, options inherently are not safe. Now, I'm perfectly okay with losing all of the money that I put into these contracts. Usually when I play options, I expect to be right 1 or 2 times out of every 10. So I'm looking for 500 to 1,000% gains on each contract that I buy. So this contract, I think, can go 500 maybe percent, or maybe even 1,000% if the stock goes absolutely crazy on the run up into earnings. Now, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them down below in the comments, and I will answer all of them as soon as I can. But I'll see you guys in the next video.